There's much speculation about this chapter as to who is this servant the prophet is talking about. Who is this servant? Let us consider what the Tova Singer comes up with to prove that Isaiah couldn't be talking about his dead God. Well, we just proved that it doesn't have to be talking about his dead God, and since it can be interpreted a different way, then there's no proof that it's his dead God. First, I want to point out that the rabbi always speaks of fundamentalist Christians or evangelicals when he speaks of people that take their faith in the Messiah seriously. All this because the word fundamental is a very negative charge. See, and then we covered a story about devout Orthodox calling themselves fundamentalist Orthodox Jews all the time. Let's go to the argument. Well, they're not called fundamentalists. Of course it has a negative tone because they're preaching to come to a cult. Okay, he comes up with this. Rabbi Singer raises the question about who we think is the speaker. The people will come at the options, and the rabbi explains what options won't work. Well, when someone says that Israel is speaker, he denies that Israel is speaker, but fails to explain why Israel can't be the speaker. Why doesn't the rabbi explain this as he did in other cases? Simply because he can't. This is just a subject to the interpretation, and therefore there is no argument he can come up with besides the other preference. Israel can't be the speaker because then it can't be the servant. Look what he says. Israel can't be the speaker because if it is, then it can't be the servant. He just said it. He denies that Israel is the speaker, but fails to explain why. And you say, and you agree with him. There's no argument he can come up with. Israel can't be the speaker because then it can't be the servant. I don't know what he's talking about here, but we'll explain it later. Tova Singer wants to identify the servant to know who the servant is. He comes up with an analogy about a book he read and started somewhere on page 2 where spoke of a Danny and Sally. He didn't know who they were, so he started to backpedal as little as possible to show who they were. So he does too with this servant. There is only one problem with this analogy. The book spoke of specific names, and there was only one Danny and one Sally. But the book of Isaiah has not but one servant. Isaiah and David are also called God's servant. Also clear is the fact that the rabbis say he wanted to backpedal as little as possible and started reading toward Isaiah 53 and deliberately skips the one time the word servant is mentioned that is closest to the fourth servant song named Isaiah 50:10. And who is this servant? Okay, Isaiah didn't know any servant songs. The chapter starts from 52, 1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on the beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the for henceforth there shall no more come into thee uncircumcised and the unclean. Shake thyself from the dust, arise, sit down, O Jerusalem, loose thyself from the hands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. I just want to make a comment here. I tell the Christians that, you see, no more uncircumcised will not come. Well, the Christians claim, oh, we're circumcised. Okay? When it says circumcised, in the true Bible, in the Hebrew Bible, it means circumcised according to the laws of the Bible, which day it should be circumcised. Okay? I don't think any Christian has ever been circumcised according to the laws of the true Creator. It's like, we keep the Sabbath on Tuesday. That's not keeping the Sabbath. That has nothing to do with keeping the Sabbath if you keep it on Tuesday or on Wednesday or any other day besides the true day that the true Creator told us to keep. Yeah. Now we'll go on. For thus said the Lord, you were sold for naught and shall deal without money. For thus said the Lord thy God, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn, and the Assyrians oppressed them without cause. Okay? He mentioned this later on. You see that the true Creator testifies that there were people that were oppressing the Jews without cause, and he claims, how can they be without cause if they sinned? Okay? And we'll see later about that. Now therefore, what do I hear, says the Lord, seeing that my people is taken away for naught? They that rule over them do howl, says the Lord, and my name continual all day is blasphemed. Okay? All day the Christians, they blaspheme the true Creator, and they say, oh, you Jews, you've been taken away in captivity, a Holocaust, you had this and you had that, as if God can't do anything. And here God is telling them that they blaspheme the true Creator. But they've been blaspheming the true Creator since day one of their cult. So no surprise here. Therefore my people shall know my name. Therefore they shall know in that day that I even he that spoke, behold, here I am. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of the messenger of good tidings, that announces peace, the harbinger of good tidings, that announces salvation, that said unto Zion, thy God reigneth. Hark, thy watchmen, they lift up the voice together, that they sing, for they shall see eye to eye the Lord returning to Zion. Okay, we'll skip a little. Depart ye, go ye from hence, touch no unclean things, go ye out of the midst of her, be ye clean, ye that bear the vessels of the Lord. Okay? Christians have no such thing as unclean things. Everything is clean to them. Pigs, snakes, crab, and all the filth of the world is not unclean to them. For they shall not go out in haste, neither shall ye go by flight, for the Lord will go before you, and the God of Israel be your reward. Behold, my servant shall prosper, he shall be exalted and lifted up, and shall be very high. One has to be a nutcase to know who the servant is here. He's talking to the whole chapter, he's talking about Israel, and he says, behold, my servant shall prosper. So, of course, that it has to be talking about Israel. Okay? We'll see you all in the next video.